And we're going.
Yeah.
All right. I can edit out the beginnings. So still have a moment to like fix your face and pull your wedgie out of your ass or whatever. Maybe I'll leave that in. This is a difficult energy to process. Maybe Comedy Hour was meant to be in it. And that's why you're the first one. Because you're my comedy commentator. Now it all makes sense. We need a little Stevie up in this bitch. Quiet in here. Hi, babes. So, for any that saw the post before or maybe didn't, I've been feeling really, really driven to do this. I don't think I've ever been more excited about anything for Babe Cave before. To do these filmed sort of shadow series. So you could see what it's like to do the process of shadow work and then kind of how amazing it is to watch it all unfold. And it really is. It's beautiful in its own way. But also just like how powerful and transformative it is when you get through it. Right? And we've both done shadow work before, but have realized that we're not done.
You're never done.
No. I mean, I think you can get to a point where you're done digging up the old shadows, but I don't think the healing of that ever really ends. But we'll see, because I mean, I'm not going to tell you I know it all anymore. Because here we are. So I'm going to do my own version of it too. I'm going to let it flow however it flows. If it ends up me just being by myself and doing it, or if it somehow gets interjected into these, I'm just going to make sure that I'm really authentic and exposing myself too, because I'm asking you to. And I've recently realized I got some work to do. I'm not so perfect. Not that I thought it was perfect, but yeah. We'll get there. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of flow with it, and then that way you'll see my process and how this work is done if you want to do it, and we're just gonna make this a thing. So this is my very dear friend, Miss Emily May. You've probably seen her on my vids and stuff before.
As I drop my
OG babe, and she was brave enough to just to say, yeah, I'll be authentic and on camera, and that way I can tell everybody that there's nothing to be ashamed of. If we're all honest with ourselves and we're all willing to put our shit out there, we can't judge anybody, and you shouldn't be judging anybody anyway. And I don't believe that anybody that would ever find this on my channel would ever come from that energy anyway.
No.
They're here for healing, and they're here because they want to expose their shit too. Everybody wants to be authentic. They just want it to be okay to be authentic. So we are saying that it is. And I think everybody will feel that way as we get through this. Right? All right. So with that being said, a little Stevie on, a little incense on. We got a vibe going on. I just want to like start it by kind of just taking a nice breath, like centering yourself, just okay. And I'm going to ask Spirit and the Archangels to be here with us and just kind of guide us through this session. Let the words that need to come out for the healing of everybody please come out, and then also just to add support for Emily as she's processing through things. Some things are not very difficult to sort of bring to the light, think about, and go, damn, that is why I do that, and let it go. Other things are much deeper, and you really got to dig at them to find them sometimes, so you never know how it's going to go. But we're just going to ask for a little extra protection here for Emily, and if something is really difficult, just help her to transmute through that pain very quickly and easily, and then of course I'll do the same, I'll Reiki and everything, and we'll get it moving. All right, let's go. So I'm just going to just kind of scan in on the chakras a bit.
Okay.
All right, so crown, third eye, good. First place, we got a little something is the throat, but I'm actually really being drawn to the heart. Like, that's the one I want to start with, which, to be honest, was the opposite of what I wanted to do, because I thought heart might be a little deep to just go there, but I'm just seeing the heart.
I'm all in or all out.
I know, you're right. She's a baddie, man. Badass bitch over here. She means it too. So let's start there. Heart chakra can feel like grief pain, or it can feel like heartbreak pain. You know how those are different pains? Like, do you know what I mean? Like the pain of losing someone in the grief sense, like they've died and passed away, that energy does not feel the same as like the loss of a breakup. And it's because loss of a breakup triggers things like abandonment issues, rejection issues, right? I'm the queen of both. Where grief loss is more like you're really focused on the loss, right? The I'll never see you again part of it, and they feel different. So this feels more like relationship, and that does not have to mean partnership, by the way, like romantic. That means any relationships in your life. It could be with your mom, with your sister, with your boss, with your lover, with your husband, friends. It can be any relationship. But that's where I'm vibing. I will say it's kind of surfacey. I ain't digging deep, and you're ready to let it go. But you got any feels on what I'm being guided to? I want to say it feels almost like a rejection, judgmenty kind of pain, but it also does feel a little bit like heartache.
So my dad recently passed.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. So weird. So I see this kind of one layer here, and then like another one right over there. Two
And
energies. So
it's
let's take
like-
that one because that's the one that came to mind.
So family tree time.
Okay.
She's actually my dad's aunt
Okay.
because we didn't have a relationship with his actual parents because his mom moved to Florida and his dad passed away when we were really young.
Okay.
So those were like our grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but it's just kind of like that dynamic. Of,
is that where maybe
like,
feeling a little outside comes from, or maybe
yeah,
not fully accepted?
Because like
Okay.
me and my brother weren't mentioned in the obituary, but all the other grandkids were.
No, I didn't know that.
So it's kind
but
of
you were
like
really close with her, right?
my brother was a little more closer.
Okay.
But it's just kind of like that
you feel
feeling.
like the ugly stepchild kind of thing, like, you know, that
Yeah,
rejection
like
sort of.
I know they loved us and everything like that,
Right.
but it was just kind of like a
maybe not as
you're
much
not
as
the grandkid.
them. Like, right,
Yeah.
yeah, like
even though like
you're not
I
the
know
full
they've
blood
seen
or
that,
whatever.
yeah, like I know they've seen us as that,
right.
But then there's like that part that's like, well, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that makes perfect sense then. I'm actually really surprised that I got that easy. I had a hand on you. Like, I remember when I said Spirit's really ready for this to come out, and like they're gonna make sure it does. That was. All right, we're 30 seconds in. That was pretty goddamn powerful, girl. All right, awesome. All right, so let's start there. So that's the first thread, right? This is how shadow work works, right? We have this first thread in our hands. Now we're gonna go down this sort of this line of what that feeling was, right? We already said kind of like maybe rejected or acceptance, like it was, you didn't feel fully accepted. And then any other word that like you want to associate with it too, by all means, let me know. But we're just going to take that thread and we're going to start following it down until we could go. I don't care if we got to go to Emily at 18 months old. we're going to find out what was the very first time you felt that. And that's how you clear it. That's how this leaves your body. Because it gets literally in your DNA, your cells, your tissue. So this is the only way to do it. This is the way. But any other word you want me to add besides like that rejected or not feeling accepted kind of vibe that it makes you feel? Like grief and loss, that's not a shadow. Of course you're going to feel that. But it's all this
I feel like that's pretty much
okay.
it.
Let's follow that trail then. Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's find some other times where that was a thing for you. If you know one that was really big for you, let's go to that. And if not, we'll keep working our way down. Like for me, it's always like
Sorry, I got
bullying
distracted
thing,
by
you know?
Stevie.
How do you not? I thought you were getting downloaded. I was like, oh, she's vibing with Spirit. She's getting messages. You know I do that all the time. Space out, you weirdo.
It's kind of always been there, if that makes sense. Because like even just because I've always marched to the beat of my own drum.
Right.
And like
you knew you were different.
Growing up small town, like
I never realized how much we had in common. This video is really coming together.
Like I was very like my own person.
Yeah.
But being in a small town, kind of like if you thought differently, it's like weirder, weirdo.
Like you're, even if people are sort of nice to you, you're still aware you're an outsider, that you're not like everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
And
that's tough.
Like it also coincides with like my family and stuff like that, because I am so broad-minded and stuff like that. Sometimes it's
so you kind of feel like the black sheep of the family too.
Yeah.
Okay.
The like cycle breaker, even though I hate it.
Oh, I mean,
it's a
I
love-hate
know,
relationship.
yes, I know what you mean. Like, I love my, like, rebel vibe, and I gotta always be rebellious, and I love that we're the ones that are breaking ancestral shit and karma and whatever, and, like, we're the ones, like, changing shit. But it's a really tough place to be put in. It's a tough place to be put in. But you know that you were selected because you were the only one who could do it.
Yeah, and it's kind of like never really feeling like you sit at one table.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, here's a table, everyone's sitting at it, it's dinner time. I rather sit to the side.
Okay.
And observe it.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I've never felt like I have a place at that table.
Oh, that was good.
Like, even though they're like, yeah, like, come to here, blah, blah, Thanksgiving dinner. But it's never felt like I've actually had a seat at that table.
I get it. It's an energy. It's like...
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though, yes, I know, like, friends that have come and gone, family has come and gone, relationships has come and gone. I've never had that feeling. It's always been like a...
You just felt fully accepted.
Yeah.
Just no matter what you did or said or whatever, that
yeah,
you were
like,
understanding,
it was always,
like-minded, soul vibe tribe people.
Yeah, it was always kind of like walking on eggshells to make sure I say the right thing so that I'm then accepted.
Okay. That I get all together. That feeling where, like, yeah, you love and accept me as long as I'm the version of me you want me to be.
Yes.
But if I'm actually authentically me, I don't know that that's true. And that does build a lot of shadow. That builds a lot of fear.
Yeah.
You know? And we all know that, like, being authentic is the only way to truly be successful in life in every way. Every way, especially spiritually. But I also believe that financially, like in careers and things like that, like if you're not authentic, it holds you back in every direction. I really do. So you're brave enough to do it. You still do it anyway. You're still yourself. Me too, right? Still doesn't make it easy, but we're feeling this kind of black sheep energy for most of our life, right? And that's like at school too, or just with family?
School definitely.
Okay. Is there like any incident in particular that you feel really left a mark? We won't face them. And you realize when I did that one about my being bullied, that was hard. It's not easy. But I still know that I'm not healed from that.
I feel like a lot of it came from people coming and going.
Okay.
Like, there were only I was with the same 16 kids from 2nd grade to 8th grade.
Oh, wow. So this is a very different sort of, like, situation
So
already.
then, like, just kind of like...
You said 2nd to when?
To 8th grade.
Wow, damn, that's a big time.
Yeah.
And the transformation you go to between 2nd grade and freaking 8th grade, like, that's crazy.
And a lot of it stemmed from, we moved to the town, so we weren't, like, originals.
Like, parents were raised there. That's how my hometown was, too, and my family wasn't from there.
It was very, like, that... Yeah, you go to school here, but you're not one of us.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
And it's kind of funny because my brother fit right in with that crowd. Like, he still has longtime friends from he was in, like, 5th grade, I think, when we moved there.
Okay.
So, like, was able to bend and mold to it.
My brother had an easier time, too.
Yeah, I haven't really seen or spoke to any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
There's 1 or 2 that I still had connections with through high school, but we were never super, like, we don't still meet up and hang out and stuff like that.
It's more like I might talk to them on Facebook every now and again or something.
But, like, so relationships like that, the coming and going, and then even in, like, high school, I got into... this mindset where, well, I'm not gonna have classes with them next year, so, like, there's no point in keeping that tie, if that makes sense. So part of it was, like, my own doing.
Do you think you had learned to sort of say, I want to do this before they do it to me?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
And it's very like, I was still very surface level with everybody.
Yep.
Because
you're afraid to let people know who you really are because you don't want to be judged by that because that's your pure self and you already feel like the outsider.
Yeah. And when, especially because it's very like hippy dippy, like, why can't we all be friends?
Yeah,
everyone just get along.
Right. Even though that
a lot of it like
contradicted.
Yeah, the kind of like persona that I had that so I could fit in.
Got it. Okay. I got it now.
Where I was very
right.
Yes, I don't take anything, but I was very submissive. I was very like, yeah, I'll say something, but I'm gonna kind of say it nicely so that I like tread.
So your boundaries weren't super strong and firm. They could probably bend and flex a bit depending on the situation because like they're not just gonna feel comfortable right away. I mean, of course. I mean, I think it's huge that you know that you're 23. How old are you?
24.
24. Okay, I was like the 23 to feel right. I'm like 4.
Somewhere around there.
A lot of stuff that you just said and identified, I didn't until I was like 40, 41. So I think that's flipping rad already. And again, I still can't believe how this is, we have the same that's why we're doing this together. We have the same damn thread. So now we have this feeling of, especially in a very small town, right? Of not feeling like you're like everybody else, right? And I think any one of us that's like us, a light worker, a starseed, like people like us, I think we all felt like outsiders all of our lives. We at least always knew we were different.
Yeah.
So whether other people knew that and treated you that way or not, it doesn't matter. We're empaths, we're energy readers. We know it. We feel it. We know we're different. And that already starts making a thread, right? A scar on us. Because for some reason, we just feel that different equals I'm not as good, like it, not worthy kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
Which is not at all. We know that now. That's not the truth. We don't know that as a kid for sure. And I think even only recently do we know that because the world's become a whole lot more accepting. But I think pretty recently, even as an adult or like whatever, you could still know that you don't fully belong because like you're, I don't know, a like goth girl or some shit. Like,
yeah, and it was very what's the word? I hate when I can't find the words.
Yeah.
It was also very not known, but like I could feel that when I was doing the true authentic me things, it would get poked and made fun of at.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went to like the Women's March on Philly and the amount of like feminine like the jokes poking fun at.
Right, the people that wanted to shred like what that message was. Right.
But it's like in reality, like no, this is for like fundamental rights and stuff like that.
Right. And well, that's most of the time what it is, right? Like if you're that hateful about shit or whatever, it's usually because you don't have the right knowledge. Yeah. You just don't have the knowledge of what you're talking about.
When I started with like my herbs and all that stuff, it was very
fantastic kitchen herb bitch. Fantastic.
It was very that stuff doesn't work, blah blah blah. So then it just kind of like keeps knocking you down.
Right.
When I used to do effects makeup, I got told a couple different things, and like it made me reroute my life. Of like I threw all my stuff away because of some of the like the shoot downs I got from that. Like,
so no, I don't see this Emily May doing that. I think she'd be like, and she would keep doing her thing, right? So that tells me though that you've gotten to a place where you know what the truth is, and that's that it's not you. We are different because we're special and like because we are amazing. I'm not just saying that like everybody's like mom's like, oh, you're so special, little Timmy. No, we really are the chosen ones, right? But also it tells me that you know that it doesn't mean a goddamn thing about you. It doesn't say a goddamn thing about your worth. It says that you are not with your vibe tribe, right? You're not with people of the same vibration as you. So the best thing to do is to say, okay, these people are like way low vibes. I'm going to remove myself from this energy altogether, and I'm going to find my vibe tribe, you know? And then from there, oh, my child banging on that door just made me lose a thought. And I was good. Give me a second. Yes. And it's not in a judgy way, right? We still wish them well. And you don't have to leave like door slam, go F yourself either, right? You can wish them love and compassion and healing and whatever, and hope maybe when their time comes, they'll vibe up with you.
And they'll circle back around.
Yeah, because we know that anything that we cut out, that especially we know that isn't meant for us, right? Or it just no longer serves us, we know that signals something to the universe that, oh, Emily's got a space, we have to fill it. And then it fills it with people of a like vibration to you. But we also know that if we don't do that, for one, Spirit's going to do it for you, and that hurts. That sucks. Yes. when you don't do it out of your control, because then you feel like it was done to you,
not
manipulated and shit, right? But also, oh man, I don't want to say this. Well, if it goes that route, it could take time for them to be fully removed, or things could keep bringing you back together, and they can keep you at a lower vibe and stunt your growth and your healing. Like, they can keep you down, but you can't bring them up if they're not ready. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've done the work, whatever, you deserve to be here. They haven't gotten there yet. You can't bring them up to a space, like, they didn't complete the prereqs.
Yeah.
You did. So they can pull you down, but you can't pull them up. And you don't want to do that. Who the hell wants to stay stuck in that energy, right? We want to get through this. We want to feel better. We might have to be in some pain. I'd rather be in pain for a month or two, and like bad pain, even if it had to be, but then know that it's over and done with. And I've really cleared and changed my life on I'm in a big transformative level. It's not small change. This is a major life change in everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I know that you know that now. So, I'm just super proud of you, for one. But two, it shows me where you're at in your healing journey, right? Like, you've done a lot of work in the shadow work areas already, you know? So that thread now, right? We've got the acceptance thing, and there's an abandonment side of it too, because the coming and going, right? The coming and going, and I certainly can identify with that. So if you feel like there's another big abandonment event that happened in your life, I think we should talk about it. Because we really don't want to skip anything that's buried down in the cells or the tissues. Otherwise, we're going to have to go back in and do it again. And we're not completing a full thread. So I'll let you think about that for a second. No pressure. My abandonment film's we're going to have to record this over 16 days. Tell me somebody who didn't make me feel my fucking abandonment issues.
Yeah. Wow. That's a long list.
What do you think, like, can you follow your thread and think of one that
Yeah.
you think really, like, had a big spread here, like, you know, it's really got a deep hold on all of this? Or maybe could be one that really keeps you from being able to get it all out and heal it because it's just so shadowy?
One would definitely be, I'm not going to name drop.
Oh, no, of
you'll
course.
know.
Of course.
You'll know
No,
once I start saying it.
Yeah. And I don't have to know. You do. You know what I mean? The energy's all we need.
This is going to be more like relationship-y.
Okay.
But, in the past, and even recently, being put to the side, I guess we'll say it that way.
Okay. Meaning, like, you felt like something else was more important than you?
Yeah.
Or was it ignored? Like, I was being ignored?
Not ignored.
Okay. So something else had their focus.
Yeah, and it was typically substances and other people and other females.
Okay.
And
so that's betrayal vibes. Really, both of them are really betrayal vibes. Because I'm assuming that you didn't know about the full extent of substances, right? Even if you did, I mean, I everybody knows my husband was an alcoholic, but and then if you, I'm sure things about it were hidden from you. That's a betrayal with someone that you're in a relationship with, that you think you know and have trust with, and obviously cheating's a fucking betrayal.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. See that this is like a betrayal thread. See how now we've gone from like acceptance issue to abandonment issue to now we also have this betrayal.
Yeah, and like
we're really getting there.
The abandonment portion would kind of be where they would just step away because they didn't see what was in front of them, basically.
Okay. Or
because they would then, after I left, or after they broke it off, what have you, they would then circle back around. Okay. And be like, no, you're the one I want to be with. You're the person I want. Mm-hmm. Feed you everything. Yep. Get you back. And then step away again.
Repeat the cycle.
Yeah. So then it's kind of... Then you get to the point where you're like, well, why is just me?
Right.
You keep coming back, but just me is not good enough.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Right.
And then I finally pull off, but now I even told my therapist this.
Good.
I have abandonment issues because it's been a track pattern of showing up just enough.
Yep. Dangling that little carrot.
Yeah, and then fully revoking it. Where it's like...
That messes you up.
Yeah.
It does.
And it's like...
It does.
I'm going to give you just enough to keep you hooked. Uh-huh. And then...
Keep their claws in you.
And then just totally gone.
And even if I think there are circumstances where people aren't even aware that they're doing it because they have their own shadows and issues to do, even if they don't, it doesn't change the fact that it has really done some damage to you. It is a shadow, and that it isn't acceptable behavior for you. That's a boundary of yours that's been broken, and you have to be strong in saying, I cannot, will not stay in this. It's not good enough for me. I have a boundary. And I'm going to respect what's best for me. Self-love is the core of all of this. We have to love ourselves enough to demand what we need and deserve, and to not accept behavior that's going to build more shadows in us or keep us sick, you know? And also I want you to think of the fact too, just because there could be some healing in it, that the reason the cycled pattern kept continuing, as we know, I accepted that behavior for quite a long time, isn't anything to do with something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's literally because Spirit's like, she hasn't learned it yet. Play it again.
Yep.
Because you can't go on to level 2. You didn't beat level 1 yet.
Yeah.
So you got to keep going back to go and collect your $200 and go around again until you say, this is not acceptable for me.
Yes.
I have a boundary now. I know what this is. I'm discerning. I know this is in and out energy, and I know that's a deal breaker for me. I'm out. And then it stops. The cycle stops.
It's also hard being so self-aware of it.
Yeah.
Because...
being an empath is hell on
earth.
It is.
And...
I'm sure we're not the only ones here that are empaths.
And being so self-aware and also putting, like, the spiritual and psychology aspect behind everything. Like, I know why you're acting the way you are.
Yep.
I know you're not mad at me. You're mad at your dad for whatever your dad did to you.
But you can't say that to everybody.
Yeah.
You can't because they don't
get it.
Because
they're not ready to process that part within themselves.
Yep. You're right.
And
you're absolutely right.
So it's kind of... that aspect gets you like a little in a tizzy because it's like, why can't you see it? It's right there.
So frustrating. And part of you really wants the validation because you've been fucking hurt here, and like you just want to be like, how do you not get it? Like, it's very, very, very difficult. But if, like I said, if they're not there, they're not there.
Yeah.
Like the whole lighthouse thing, right? And I don't go around chasing them. I have to wait till they find me, because they'll find me when they're ready and when the time's right. We can't make them be ready. And this is the hard work. This is the hard fucking work. It's not easy to do, but you can do it. You have to get to a place where you can change the perspective and the energy around it and say, they're just not of my vibration. They're just not ready yet. I still have to be strong in this. I know it's not about me. There's nothing wrong with me. I have to just be strong enough to say, I control and decide who and what takes my peace, which should be no one. No one takes my peace. If I have to do whatever I have to do to keep my peace, I'm going to do it. And that you're going to keep your boundaries that you know you need to not continue to hurt yourself or get stuck in these cycles. And have that self-worth and self-value to know you don't have to settle for people like that. You're not going to be alone, because getting through all this shit is what brings the right person to you, the higher vibrational person, the better match for you. You have to get through these little lessons first to deserve that person, because you don't know you enough, right? You haven't done enough of the healing and the shadow work to deserve a healthy relationship yet. You got to learn. That's not a bad thing. Earth is school. We're here to learn, but you just have to do it. That's how it works. But I think the most difficult part is learning how to not let things take your peace.
Yeah.
And it's still going to hurt.
Oh, yeah.
You still have to do the healing. That's afterwards, right?
Yeah.
But the first step needs to be that you know that this is a deal breaker for me. I have discernment. I have boundaries, and I'm going to say no, and I'm going to walk away. And then we can heal.
Mm-hmm.
Still going to hurt, but it hurts a lot less than spirit coming in and go and pluck and plucking them right out of your life. And you're like, what the hell just happened? That's a different level of pain. That's way worse. You want to be able to control it. Plus, it speeds up your healing process, speeds up how easily you can let go, and speeds up how fast that new, much better energy can get to you. Mm-hmm. So it's the best if you can do that. It really, really is. All right, I think you've done amazingly well so far.
Thank you.
So we've got our thread going from acceptance to abandonment down a little bit into this not feeling like a priority, or that, like you said, other things are more important, and also betrayal sort of mixed in. Mm-hmm. And then if you find yourself in repeated patterns, this is just kind of a side note, I'm not saying you've done this, but I know I have. If you find yourself in repeated patterns where like you really thought this person was going to be very, very different than the last, because you maybe had some discernment or something, and in the end you come to realize, no, you're still attracting the exact same type of people, we know that we're just not done with the cycle yet, right? We've missed something. We need to figure something out, or we're not being discerning enough and just getting swept up in the I don't want to be alone, and this person didn't want to leave. They really liked me. You know what I mean?
And being alone's okay.
Being alone is more than okay.
I will say that, especially within the healing and doing the shadow work and stuff like that,
absolutely,
you need the alone time.
You do. Because
you need to be able to sit and process whatever it is that is coming to light. And you can't always do that when others are around.
You can't.
And
you definitely cannot go through your awakening with anyone else around. You can't. And sometimes just know that that's what it is. It's because you're awakening. It's not this. There's no betrayal here. Don't be hurt. Don't let it get to you. It's literally because you, like Emily's 100% right. You have to be alone. Spirit will remove people from you if you're ready for your awakening. Yeah.
And that being alone and doing the healing, doing the work, you find parts of yourself that you thought you lost for a long time.
Oh yeah, or you just never even knew.
Yeah.
Who really ever sat with that much time alone intentionally to get to know yourself, right?
It's like Alanis Morissette said, "Are you terrified of silence? Here, can you handle this?" And she like pauses the whole song. It's like, what did you think about your bills, your deadlines?
I didn't even know it. Let's write it down. Are you terrified of silence?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's powerful for me because I'm a runner.
But yeah, you find these pieces of yourself that you've lost along the way, or you didn't even know you had, and bringing them to light and doing it alone, it like authenticates it in a way, because you know there's not that outside force like dictating it.
Yeah, or it's just distraction.
Yeah.
You know, it's like distracting energy for one, so that if the only energy in the room is yours, it's much easier to read and figure out, for one, you know, because your energy's all meld. But also, it's just a distraction, right? Like, if there was a kid in the corner over there playing video games right now, like, I don't know that we'd be vibing this video so well, you know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Alone time is good. We like alone time. It's important. That's not where I was going, but I'm trying to retrace my step.
It's going to be scary at first because we're not used to it.
It is.
But
so rewarding.
It's rewarding and it's needed. That's why I tell a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're going to be alone.
In the shadows.
Yeah. It might feel like you're alone, but you're not, if that makes sense. Yes, it's your alone time, and those feelings are going to be deep and heavy.
That's exactly the thought I lost that I couldn't come up with, and you had it. You just went bloop. See how good you're
getting. It's going to be deep and heavy, and you're going to be feeling it and you're going to feel very alone.
Right.
But you have people.
You're never alone. Like, we are never truly alone. Our spirit guides and angels and the archangels are always with us, literally. And even though they may not be tangible, they may not be able to talk to you like they talk to me or whatever. Well, they can, but maybe like you're not ready to receive it or whatever. But they are still there. You aren't alone. There is someone healing you, and that it really does help to try to remember that when you're in the energy. It does. It still hurts like hell, but it has to. You have to transmute it. You gotta get it out. You have to cry because tears are cleansing. Tears cleanse your chakra. They literally pull those shadows out and you get rid of them. You know? They're cleansing.
And you have to feel it.
You have to feel it. You can't fake it till you make it. You all know I hate that quote. You have to face it till you make it. You cannot fix what you don't identify, what you don't face. If you ignore it and act like it isn't there, you're not working on it. You're not facing it. You're just burying it further and further down. And you probably don't even know that might be tied to 10 other threads. And so it's really keeping you from progressing or having the healthiest relationships or the best, highest vibrational people in your life that you deserve. It is work that absolutely has to be done. And just even the pain, if you're embracing it and you're keeping all these philosophies or these mindsets that we're talking about, like in your mind and on the forefront, and asking those angels to help when it's really too heavy, I need this to move out of me right now, or reaching out to a friend for a little chat, whatever it is, yes, it's going to hurt, but you really will move through it so much faster and easier than I did, because I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything. I just sank, and also didn't really want to face a lot of it because the pain was just too unbearable, But diving in and taking it head first and saying, what can I learn from this? What's the lesson here? And really looking at it and saying, what did this make me feel? Did this make me feel the way I felt in second grade when I was really badly bullied, or everybody was picked to play on the team but me? Like, whatever. Is that the same feeling? Because then you're reacting to that too. The original shadow, the original thing that started this thread is what you're reacting to in the current moment. And that's when our reactions can get really disproportionate or out of, just not matching what the situation at hand. Like, you're not reacting to what I just said right now. You might be upset about what I said right now, don't get me wrong, but that wouldn't have put you into World War III tailspin.
Yeah.
The fact that it triggered old, this line's been going on 100 years bullshit is why we freak the hell out and lose our shit, right? But as long as we identify that, anytime something triggers us or we start to feel that reaction that, oh, hell, we can train ourselves to go, wait a minute, am I reacting to what she just said? Or am I reacting to something that triggered that happened to me 25 years ago that had nothing to do with this person? Because we don't want them to pay for that. We want them to deal with the actual issue at hand. Right. Yep. Yeah. What you do, we're going to deal with that right now. Once you start doing that, your shadows actually are already coming to light by themselves. Just from you taking that moment of discernment, because you're identifying them, you're kind of checking in and going, oh yeah, that feels like that time on the playground. That sucked. I hated that. All you have to do to get a shadow brought to the light is to acknowledge that it's there. Now it's out of the shadow. We're not hiding it anymore. We're not burying it in the shadow anymore. That's all it takes. And then we move on to the healing.
Acknowledgement is key, because until you acknowledge it and face it, it's going to stay in the shadows. Yeah. And
you probably have shadows you don't even know you had. I'm not saying you're doing it intentionally. I mean, I was layers deep, and I still found that deeper one. I was real surprised. I didn't know I had that shadow. Yeah. You're not gonna always know, but following the thread is how you get there. And then acknowledging it and facing it and being willing to. And then, of course, we'll do like Reiki and chakra healings and all, if it's stuck in some spot, to help get those last bits cleared out, Yeah. So acceptance, abandonment, not feeling like a priority, betrayal, leave them before they leave me. Always feeling kind of different, right? A little bit like a black sheep. How much of that do you think you've really healed well today? And how much of that do you feel like you really need a deep dive on, or some healing or some more exploration?
So I've kind of just taken on the role as the black sheep. I'm like, okay, that's just who I am, or the psychedelic sheep, as I say it.
Would you say you kind of wear it proudly, like a badge of honor now?
Yeah, I just kind of this is me. Yeah. This is who I'm going to be.
Yep. I think you and I both are pretty good at that.
I don't hide my spiritual self anymore. Like, I remember before I said something about wanting a crystal ball so I could do like scrying, and my one ex was like, you shouldn't be talking to balls, you should be helping me run a business. Mind you, the business was already in the ground, and me helping was doing
that's
nothing.
Some small-minded thinking shit right there.
And I'm
that's
like,
not big picture.
But this is who I am. And then it's funny because like the memory pops up on Facebook all the time. It's like, everyone wants a witchy chick till they start doing witchy shit.
Yes, I love that meme. Yes, like, it's true.
Yeah, but now I'm very, well, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, this is who I am, and if you can't get on the boat with that, then obviously you're not meant to be on my path.
Right.
So I kind of,
that shows a tremendous amount of growth.
Yeah.
It does. But for one to even know your authenticity is a process. But a lot of people don't know that at 23, let me tell you, 24. I sure didn't. I didn't. But also tells me that you know that there's nothing wrong with that, and that being your authentic self is your best path to success, and that you have self-worth and value. I love that. Because you do. Other people feel like their reaction to who you authentically are means nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to your value.
And nothing. I feel like I've come to terms with so like the abandonment wound, we'll call it, is still there.
The healing still has to happen.
Yeah, the healing still has to happen.
But you're aware of it.
I'm aware of it, and I understand why certain things were removed from my life, certain people, certain instances that happened. But, like, the deep dive of it, I feel like I still need to do. Because it's still so prominent. Because I am still I'm gonna get away from you before you can get away from me.
Right.
I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to...
It's more the fear of it happening to you.
Yeah.
Again.
And I'm also even with friends, I'm going to disappear for a little bit. And then I'll come back.
You have a chance to reject me.
Yeah. So I'm going to disappear.
Okay.
And then, like, I'll come back around. I know we're still there. I know we're still friends.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep that distance every now and then because one day you may or may not even do it. You may wake up one day and be like, yeah, she's not the vibe anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's how it felt in childhood and adolescent when, because I know you grow through people are in certain stages of your life for certain reasons.
Right, we all have our own path and checklists we have to check off, and this person brought you that checklist, so it's really something we should always be grateful for. I know that's hard, and I
understand that now, but there's still parts of me that are like, but why do you just come and go?
Right. It still makes you feel like, is it me? Why? What is it about me?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think I know. The core to this is there's never going to be a time in our lives, a place we can get to with spirit work or anything else, where we are going to have a guarantee that the next person's not going to betray us or not going to hurt us or not going to abandon us. There's absolutely no way to guarantee that. So the only way to be able to live a healthy, like, right, and not have the next partner pay for the sins of the past, even though they may not have done anything yet, or live in that fear energy like you do, and I do too, I get it, is to fully embrace self-love and knowing that you can stand on your own 2 feet and be perfectly fine. You have to be the most stable tower on your own in order to be in a healthy relationship where you're not going to have reactions from shadow or triggered by trauma, right? Trigger is a very like kind of trendy word right now, right? And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be accepted. My fear is that it keeps us stuck. Like if we say it's okay for somebody else to get a rampage from you because they unintentionally triggered something that someone else did, that's not fair. You're making them pay for something they didn't do, right?
You're bleeding on the knife that didn't cut you.
Yeah. Oh, girl, she's full of them You know, that's not fair. And that's going to cause a problem in your relationship. And eventually your relationship is going to break down from that. It is, you know, and if you know that no matter what somebody else does to you or what happens in this relationship, friendship, family, right, situation, if you know that you're fine on your own 2 feet and that you can be woke enough to know that spirit removed them from your life, or you knew that it was a boundary breaker because you're deep enough in spirit work, and you can live in the energy of, I'm so grateful that happened to me because it got me here and I learned this, and the energy of, this didn't happen to me, it happened for me, you'll just move right through it. But you have to really fully embrace those concepts, which takes work. It does. It takes some work. The hard work, it's work we can do. It's work we're going to do. You're all going to see it. So we want to always be grateful, no matter how much they hurt us, because we know that it happened for a damn good reason, and we really grew from it and are becoming the highest version of ourselves every time that happens. And we want to remember, not victim mentality here. This didn't happen to me, it happened for me. Check your perspective. Always check your perspectives, okay? And always work on self-love. And we're going to tell you how to do that in a bit. I think we'll take a minute. I think we've really come full circle. This video's getting long and it ain't never gonna post. Yeah, we'll take a little minute.
Yeah.
Take a little fiver, and then we'll come right back and we'll finish this out. Well, we ain't gonna finish it, but we're gonna
vibe out.
Yeah, we're gonna like pull this energy out and heal it a bit. Make a plan. I really think we've already done that. I'm fucking impressed with this. But all right, we'll come back for video number 2 in a minute. Number 2. Ooh, can't see him both. 2. I feel bad using fingers on a day when poor Tony just got his pinky amputated. Shout out to Tony. I love you, bro.